You are now listening to the smooth sensations and high vibrations of Alex, host of the best relationship channel on YouTube. Alex, drop them gems on us.
What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Alex. Shout out to the Elite Fleet. Make sure you like and subscribe so you can become a member of the Elite Fleet. And I want to talk about this video that went viral where this woman spoke on the reason she believes Ayesha Curry is acting so crazy. And I want to talk about it because it bothers me when women keep it real with y'all. I say a lot of the times, men ask for women to be honest, but then when the women are honest, y'all can't handle it. Which shouldn't be something that a masculine man should be able to handle a woman being honest with him, in my opinion, right? But a lot of you dudes can't. And you're going to have a hard time dating in relationships and in your marriage if you can't accept women for what they actually are. And when they tell you what they are in real life and not just like what you're told in school or in movies or your image of them that you projected onto them that they never confirmed or agreed was actually what they are, you get upset. Right? Because everybody been talking about the Ayesha Curry thing. And we're going to show the video for the woman and we're going to break it down, right? Because there's another reason that this woman did not talk about the viral video. That is why Ayesha Curry is having all these crazy thoughts and is on the verge of divorce. There's two reasons. The woman talks about one, and we're about to get into her video. But before we do, I want to say this. I think pretty much everybody knows, and this is why I didn't do a video reaction on the Ayesha Curry situation, because no one agrees with Ayesha Curry at this point except for 304s. I'm just telling you, there's nothing to agree with. At the end of the day, I don't ever want to hear any woman saying she didn't envision herself as a wife. Because when the man got down on one knee, you could have said no. Another thing I don't ever want to hear any woman saying is that she didn't really plan on being a kid, having kids, or being a mother. Because guess what? Your body, your choice. You could have deleted those babies. Millions of babies are deleted every single year. Not only that, right? Not only did y'all fight for the right to continue to be able to delete these millions of babies, but you got more flavors of birth control than they got ice cream at Baskin Robbins. So if you didn't want to have a baby, you didn't want to be married, you wouldn't be either. And that's not the truth. Ayesha's problem isn't really that she's married or that she has kids. She has a whole entirely separate problem that we're going to break down in this video. But only 304s don't see the problem with what she said, because what you guys have to understand is this. The 304s attempting to defend Ayesha, they're saying, well, a lot of women who are married feel this way deep down. She's just saying what a lot of women think. And blah, 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 blah. Here's the reality of the situation. Everything you think doesn't need to be said. Now that comes along with accountability, which a lot of you women do not have, right? Men understand accountability. For example, you know how many men work overtime just to stay away from their wives? Like one of my homeboys' wife just went out on vacation with her mother to Greece, right? The husband stayed home. They're going to be gone for 3 weeks. And when my friend asked his wife's father why he didn't go to Greece with his daughter and his wife, he said, I could not picture being with my wife for 3 weeks, just me and her. That's what he said. Y'all always idolize these white marriages. This was a white man who said this. The main ones taking all the overtime at jobs because they don't want to be around their wives are white men. Right? Now, other men do it too, but what's the point, Alex? My point in bringing this up is simply to say, a lot of men cannot stand their wives for various reasons. And the reality of the situation is, if most men kept it real with how they felt about their wives, how they felt about their girlfriends, or how they felt about women in general, it would tear asunder y'all illusions and leave you women crashing in the sanctuary of your own ignorance. You wouldn't even be able to handle it. Y'all would combust into flames if men kept it real with what they thought about y'all. And I know this for a fact because the manosphere is only 60% accurate. 40% of it is sensationalism, made up fake statistics, and dudes just being dramatic to make money off of incels. But 60% of it is facts, and it is how a lot of men feel. And y'all couldn't handle that. Y'all got so mad about manosphere talking points that y'all was dancing on Kevin Samuel's grave. Y'all done got these cats demonetized, and it ain't just black men. The white manosphere is actually bigger than the black manosphere was, but that's not here nor there. Y'all got these people demonetized. Y'all got them on an FBI watch list. You know what I'm saying? Nobody does that to all these fem cells out here who talk trash about men every day. But that's what y'all did because y'all couldn't handle 60% of the stuff men think about women. So I know for a fact I wouldn't be able to handle 100% of it. And I say that to say there's a responsibility in understanding some things don't need to be stated out loud. Some things should just stay in your head. And as a wife, you should know better than to bash your husband, bash your marriage, or in any way indicate that you didn't envision being a mother when your kids are already here. Your kids should never be able to listen to anything where you say out of your mouth, oh, but I didn't envision myself being a mother, because you are now, so it doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. Why even bring this up? But I digress. Let's get into the video, right? And she's going to break down one of the reasons why Ayesha is acting out. And then we're going to come back, and I'm going to tell you guys the other reason Ayesha is acting out that no one has called out yet, and that they didn't call out in this video. So check it.
Ayesha Curry is a perfect example of why it is so important to have a hoe phase. Go be a hoe. Be a hoe. But be a safe hoe though. Like, protect yourself and don't get pregnant. That's why she's sitting over there feeling trapped. Trapped with Steph Curry. Sometimes you gotta go through some stuff to really appreciate what you have. She probably ain't never been hoed. She probably ain't never been drugged through the mud by a dude. She probably never had her heart broken time and time and time again. That's why she can't really appreciate what she has, because it's like, I need something edgy. I need something fun. Like this mom stuff. This being married to Steph Curry, this shit is boring. And now she's really rebelling. She want to be in the streets. She want to be desired by other men. She probably want to do something with another man, because she probably never experienced that. Like, when did they get together? Like high school or something? That is not enough time to be out in the world and do stuff and experience stuff. Like, you don't have to experience a whole lot. But I don't think she experienced anything at all. And now she's tied down, married with kids. You can't go do your thing right now unless you go do your thing and run the risk. Like, you ain't just no Lucinda from down the block. You're Ayesha Curry. If you gonna mess with anybody, trust me, we gonna know about it.
Now, like I said, a lot of people got mad about that video, right? And I get it. She used kind of coarse words. Alright, this woman's also clearly a 304, but here's the reality of the situation that a lot of men don't want to accept. A lot of women know what she said is true, and they're just plain dumb because they don't want to be viewed the same way as her. But trust me when I tell you 90% of women agree with her, and they know what she's saying is true. It was about 10% of women who really do disagree, and they didn't live that life. But I digress. Y'all are upset with her because what she says tears asunder your illusions as men and leaves you crashing in the sanctuary of your own ignorance. She's 100% correct. I say on almost every single video that I make, men have to stop underestimating women's sexual drive, women's sexual desire, and their need and want to have sex. Women can come more than men. Okay, they come harder than men. Right? They can come multiple times in a row. Right? Women have sexual desires. Believe it or not, guys, they walk down the street and they think, damn, and they picture dudes on top of them just like you picture yourself behind them. It's the same thing. There ain't no difference. Women have higher body counts than men. Do not debate me on this. I've already proved it several times. There's a video on my channel proving it. There's a short on my channel that proves it. So I'm not going back and forth with y'all about this. They have higher body counts than men. They've been in more relationships than you. Alright, women, anything that comes to dating and relationships and marriage and sex, women have done more than 90% of men have. So stop underestimating this. Stop thinking women don't have a desire to sleep with different types of men. Athletic men, tall men, short men, stout men, men with big peens, men with medium peens, men with fat peens, men with long peens. Stop thinking that they do not have a desire to do this because it makes you feel better as a man. Alright, that's number one. Number two. And I've said this before in other videos. The best gems come for those who stay to the end. I have told you guys, this placebo effect that a lot of men online tell you guys, oh, get you a virgin. Get you a girl who's young. That gives you the best chance of having a successful marriage. This is a lie. I've dated multiple virgins. Anyone who's been subscribed here for a while knows this. One of them, I took their virginity. The other two, I did not. Because I knew I wasn't going to marry them. And one was when I was really young. I was in like college. So, I was just like, whatever. But I'm only bringing all this up to say I have a lot of experience with virgins. And even if it's not me directly, it's friends of friends, because I have a lot of female friends and stuff like that. I'm going to tell you guys something. Unless the virgin is highly religious, you can't even trust her. Because if she's not highly religious, if she's not saving herself for marriage for a religious reason, then 9 out of 10 times it's just manipulation. It's just her saying, I don't know what else I have that can put me above all these other women out here, so I'm not going to sleep with anyone unless they marry me. I'm going to leverage access. I'm going to say, I don't know if you'll marry me because of my homemaker skills, because of my looks, because of my ability to earn an income, because I'm a great person. So I'm just going to leverage, I'm not having sex with you unless we get married. Now, most virgins, and I've talked about this before, they suck a whole lot of dick. And they take a whole lot of D up the poop chute. One or the other, sometimes both. Alright? Now, there are some virgins who do neither, but that is very few and far between. Either way, I've talked about this before. If a woman is to make it all the way up into marriage without giving her virginity away, she marries you, you're the first person to ever sleep with her, and you think you won, and she did not do this for a religious reason, you're cooked. And here's why you're cooked. A virgin still wants to experience her whole phase. Most women are going to have a whole phase unless their religion has scared them out of it. This is why I said religion is important. If she's highly religious and her religion preaches heavily against being a whore, then she will not do it. But if she is not highly religious, or she's in one of those religions where you could play with the rules like Christianity, which says, well, as long as you ask God for forgiveness, you're fine, she's 100% going to want to have a whole face. I'm just being honest with you guys, right? So I'm saying that to say, you're going to marry her, she's going to sit with you. It might take 2 years, it might take 5, it might take 10, it might take 20. But you married this virgin young, eventually, she's going to want to experience other men. See, you guys think I'm going to get this virgin, she don't got no experience, she don't know no better, everything's going to work out. It's not going to go like that. What's going to happen is, because y'all think she don't know no better, but what y'all fail to realize is, even if you date a virgin, you put her up in the crib, you make her a housewife. There's other women who live in your community. This is what you guys aren't thinking about. Not only are there other women who live in your community, right? She's going to run into other women. She goes to the gym, there's other women there. She's going to run into other women. Those other women are going to talk about Big D Rodney who made her squirt. Those other women are going to talk about going to Jamaica and getting a train ran on them, or messing with those banana boat boys. Those other women are going to talk about the one dude who gave them amazing cunnilingus. They're going to tell all these sexual stories, most of which they had before they got married. And your wife going to be sitting there and listening to it, knowing that your ass ain't never made her squirt. You understand what I'm saying? You ain't even make her come. Nothing. And you think she's just going to sit there and never experience that because she committed to you? Most of them will not, unless they are highly religious. What most of them will do is will either cheat on you, try to open your relationship up. This is how you end up with so many cucks. Because you marry a dude for security, he ain't putting the pipe down, right? So you say, hey, can my BBC friend come through and lay the pipe? Can I get a bull to come through and lay a pipe? Again, I'm not trying to pick on white people, but in white relationships, I do videography. I've been hired to do videography at sex parties and stuff before, guys. It's mostly white people in there. There's all races in there, but it's mostly white married couples that go to sex parties and swinger events and stuff. And it's usually for that reason. They marry security, but they still have a sexual desire. So they have freak-offs and all types of stuff, right? I'm only saying that to say, your wife's going to want to have these experiences. Especially if you're not man enough to really slut her out. Which most dudes who are seeking virgins are just not going to do. Right? They're just not going to do it. Right? She's going to desire that. She's going to seek that out. And even if you're doing a good job, she's still going to want to experience other men. And she's going to have that whole phase on you. She's either going to find up an excuse to end the marriage so she can have it, or she's just going to cheat on you. Or she's going to try to open your relationship up. I've warned you guys about this. So this woman's not wrong. That is one aspect of Ayesha. Because she's been with Steph since high school. She hasn't had much experience. And she's listening to all these women in her ear, in her head, telling her about what it was like doing this, what it was like doing that. And she wants to know what it's like. But because she has the quintessential marriage to Steph Curry, she can't do that. Everyone respects Steph Curry. Everyone respects their relationship. Nobody wants to mess it up. Now, number 2, the best gems come for those who stay till the end. I repeat, the best gems come for those who stay till the end. And no one else is talking about this. The second reason Ayesha Curry is on the verge of blowing her marriage up is because women are not validating her. It's 2 things that are very important to women. Attention from men, which Ayesha has admitted herself she's not getting. Now, she's not getting it because people respect her husband. She's also not sexy. She's cute, but she's not sexy. She overrates herself in her head. But I digress. She ain't getting that. All right? And she shouldn't be because she's married, but I'm just saying. So she's not getting that. But number 2, and people don't talk about this enough, this is very important to women as well, and it only falls behind male attention. And that is female validation. Women desire to be admired by men and wanted by men and validated and respected by women. Ayesha was a quintessential housewife. So men, right, were not fawning over her trying to sleep with her because we respected what her stuff had going on. A lot of men, before Ayesha started acting out, desired a wife like Ayesha. You guys gotta remember, this is the same girl who used to go viral for talking about how she don't understand why women dress half naked. She believes in saving that type of stuff for her men. Right? She used to literally be the quintessential housewife until society got in her ear and changed her mind around. What happened is Ayesha realized being a quintessential happy, feminine, old school, traditional housewife only got her validation from men. Not attention. You understand what I'm saying? Not sexual desire, just validation. But it did the opposite with women. Women start to hate and seethe the name Ayesha Curry. Mainly 304s. Which nowadays, you gotta remember, 304s outnumber good women. And the reason they started to hate and seethe when they heard Ayesha Curry is because Ayesha was everything they were not. She was traditional. She got married young. She didn't have a high body count. Alright, she was a housewife. She was kept, taken care of, cute, had cookbooks, all this other stuff. And they would never get that because they were 304s. So what they want, but you guys gotta understand, nowadays, most 304s want everyone to be a 304. They want every woman to be single, right? Or if she's in a marriage, it needs to be 50-50 or she needs to be doing the bulk of the work so that they can justify their whoreness. Every woman who is traditional, feminine, housewife, cutesy, cooks, cleans, caters to her man is a threat to their existence. Because the more women go back to that, the more they're going to start to shame whores again. And we can't have that. So what happened is, the whores spoke the loudest, especially online. They always speak the loudest. And they shamed Ayesha for being what men desire. Literally. They're trying to do the same thing to Savannah James, by the way. Guys, I swear on everything I love. You can't make this up. There was one girl I was dating who literally got mad when Savannah James came up. And I was like, why are you mad at Savannah James? She don't bother nobody. She's unproblematic. She's like, I don't dislike Savannah James. I dislike why men like Savannah James. I swear to you guys, I'm not making this up. This is what she said, word for word. She said, I dislike why men like Savannah James. I said, why do you say that? And she said, because they say it's because she's beautiful and quiet and meek and a housewife and about her family and about her kids, and I just can't stand that. And one, I said, well, what's the problem with that? And two, I said, that's not necessarily true. Like, LeBron's helped her open ice cream shops and stuff, so it's not like she doesn't have, her own businesses and some stuff going on. Right? But I'm not going to get into the whole back and forth I had with this girl. She's not the only girl who I've experienced has kind of like has Savannah done anything directly? No, but they hate the idea of what Savannah is. They do not want traditional feminine women around. Because again, this woman, and I was dating her knowing that it wasn't going nowhere. I've got my girl now. She was never going to be one. She was just a fine hoe. This is a reality situation, right? But I'm saying this to say she knows that if a man desires a Savannah James, she could never be a Savannah James. She's already cooked. So she needs to make Savannah James not even want to be Savannah James. So that she can have a man, she can have a husband, or she can stay in these streets and not get shamed for it. So I'm saying that to say, the reason Ayesha went from being the quintessential housewife to now all of a sudden it seems like she almost resents being married, and she resents having kids, and she resents this lavish lifestyle that was afforded to her by her man, is because she wants to go out here and be in the streets and be a boss babe to get validation from women. This is not much different than Tia Mowry, who did the same thing. Tia Mowry was a virgin, got married to her husband young. All of a sudden, she wanted to go in the streets. She wanted to know what it was like to date around and be wined and dined. And then she realized, so Ayesha should be paying attention to this, but women never pay attention to stuff like this. Then she realized there was nothing out there but hard tea and bubblegum. Everyone was just trying to pipe her down. They were not being romantic, and she wasn't going to find a man better than her husband. Now, this is the same thing that's going to happen to Ayesha, right? But that's what she wants. She wants to go out here and do the whole Sex in the City and be the modern woman who, is making, well, she's got to make $1 million because her husband made $1 million, so 6 figures ain't enough. So she got to make $1 million and have a career and be sleeping with all these different guys and have all this stuff going on because that would get her validation from women. That would make them say, you go girl, you a boss chick. Being a housewife does not make any woman today say, you go girl. They look down on you for that. They look at you as a slave. They're really hating, but a lot of women cannot see through this hating. I'm telling y'all what I know. So Ayesha wants to go out here, not just to have a whole face, but also because she wants validation from women. And she knows if she goes out here, she becomes a boss chick, women will validate her. Now, she's tried to do this in her marriage, but she can't. She's not talented enough. She's had like 3 cooking shows. They've all failed. She's had like multiple restaurants. They've all failed. Steph has tried to make her a star. She's just not a star. She's just not. She even tried to do the little sexy wife thing, but it didn't work because it's like, okay, Ayesha, you're cute, but you ain't sexy. You ain't Sydney Sweeney. You ain't Ruby Rose. You know what I'm saying? You ain't Ice Spice. You ain't sexy. So none of it works for her. So she's like, well, if I go out here and I conquer the world, and I do all this, then women will validate me. I'll seem like the cool chick, and I won't be ostracized by women. I'll get to experience all these men, and everything's going to go great. And it's not. It's going to go the same way it went with Tia Mowry. But I told you guys before, I'll tell you guys again, this is why I think the passport bro movement is stupid. Because you either find you an elite woman and lock in. An elite woman already got the mindset to lock in, and she's had it from a child. Right? But this idea, I'm going to get with a woman when she's a virgin. I'm going to get with her when she's in high school or when she's young because then she won't be corrupted by the world. No, she'll just get corrupted by the world when she's already your woman, which is worse. I'd rather her be corrupted by the world beforehand. If I had to pick a corruption, obviously we want no corruption, right? But if I had to pick a corruption, I'd rather a woman be corrupted before I come and fix all her inner demons and be the best version of herself when I come, than for her to get corrupted while she's with me because I jumped on her too fast for her to have any life experiences. Okay, and that's not me saying don't date a virgin. It's just me saying it is not the, swallow this pill and it solves all your problems that a lot of men with no experience will lead you to believe. Those are the real reasons Ayesha Curry is crashing out on Steph. Alright? So that's my thoughts on that, y'all. I am Alex, and I am out. Peace.